Hey everyone, thanks for choosing this podcast. We're your hosts, Em and Kate. Come and join us to chat about anything related to healing and so much more. Hey Kate, what have you been up to today?
Hey, and everyone else. I have had a pretty busy week work wise. We have self reviews coming up. And if you are anything like me, then you hate being critiqued. And then I have to critique myself in
Yeah.
front of my manager. But, happy Tuesday. It's Christmas season. So it's a good time for me. How about you?
Yeah, I definitely agree with you. Christmas season is awesome. You guys might be wondering why it's Tuesday. We are recording on a Tuesday because we are getting ahead of ourselves. And also, I'm doing great if I didn't answer that before. I just thought about your comment about Tuesday, but yeah.
Which reminds me of a song, Club Going Up. No, what is it? Club Going Out? No. It's with Drake and some guy. It's like, "Club going up on a Tuesday. Got my girl in a bag," and she's I don't know. Do you know what song I'm talking about? It's
No,
so good. Anyways,
I'm not good with
for the
lyrics, sadly.
people for I don't even think those were the right lyrics or I
Hmm.
cannot sing, so but for those who like going to the club on a Tuesday, that song is your go-to song.
Yes. Um, that's awesome that we're in the holiday spirit. I know it's really tough for some people to get into the holiday spirit. And for those people, we are with you because, I've been kind of like in a little slump of, oh, it's the end of the year vibes, even though I really want to be happy about the holidays and that brings me so much joy. But underneath that, there's always that seasonal depression that I hate so much.
Yeah, I definitely go through the deep blues during this season. I think this year around, it's been a little better.
Hmm.
And I haven't stopped and reflected why, but I'll take it. I will
Yeah.
take it, no
A win
complaints.
is a win. A win is a win. Yeah.
Sure.
Okay. Well, I know that we mentioned that we were going to talk about routines before we did our Q&As. So we kind of veered from that and we decided we were going to talk about something else because why not? We have free will, right? So we decided we are going to talk about self care. So this is going to be our self care series. Yay! Insert music. I mean, any tune.
All right, well, let's just jump right into it. So, our self care series is starting because I have been really understanding and being a big fan of self care. So I brought it up to M and she liked the idea. M is also starting to get a lot more into self-care. And we just kind of wanted to relate it to our healing journeys and how it kind of helps propel us forward. And along with what I was saying about the going to the club on a Tuesday, that can technically be considered your self-care. If you need to go out and dance on a Tuesday because life is driving you wild, and you're intentionally doing it to feel good, responsibly, and all of that, then why not? And that kind of leads us to what is self care to us?
Exactly.
To you.
Self-care to me is something that okay, so I didn't really put a name on what self-care was before. I would just do things that would bring me happiness, joy, just make me feel myself. Now I know that's self-care. So I guess in shorter terms, I'd say that self-care is what brings me happiness. But yes.
Yeah. No, I love that. And I agree with that. For me, it's anything that makes me feel good about myself as well. So, like, whether that's therapy, although sometimes self care doesn't feel good to me in the moment, I
Mhm.
know that in the long run, it will. So, like, therapy, uh, facials, massages, going out with friends to the club on a Tuesday at times. Sure, why not?
Mhm.
Sometimes you need to dance off whatever is weighing you down.
Mhm. Yeah.
But for real, I actually don't do that, but maybe I will. Anyways, um, more on a serious note, you had mentioned that growing up, you did things that felt good to you, but you didn't know it was self care. What did you do growing up that made you feel good?
What did I do growing up that made me feel good? Well, I don't know. I mean, things that kids do. Um, okay, let's see. I feel like I didn't have a concept of what self-care meant, meaning that it wasn't like a concept that was, "Oh, I'm doing self-care now, please don't bother me," sort of thing, you know what I mean? Like, it was just me being me. So, like, if I would play with my dolls, would that be considered self-care? Or, if I'm reading my favorite book, at that time was Harry Potter, was that considered self-care, or was it just me being me? So, you see how
I
I'm, like,
think it's
a little confused on how, that was when I was a kid? But, I mean,
yeah.
obviously, now I know that self-care is a lot more broader and stuff, but yeah. I guess the bigger question that I'm asking myself right now is anything that I do that makes me happy, is that self-care?
If that's how you define it, which you did say that's what you think of self-care.
Yeah. I don't know, what is your opinion? What did you do when you were a child? Or, like, how did self-care come to exist in your mind? When were you sentient enough to realize, "Oh, this is self-care?"
I similar to you growing up, I had no concept of self-care. I would just do what a kid does, and for me, it was playing with my siblings or just running around, watching TV, acting out random shit. Honestly, self-care is a newer concept for me. Probably 3 3 years now that I've actually been practicing it, but I have heard about it,
Mhm.
I don't know, probably in, like, my mid-20s. How about you? When did you start hearing about self-care and then also practicing self-care?
Yeah, I think when I started hearing, obviously, it was, like, when social media started doing its thing, coining terms and
Mm.
throwing content at you like, "Oh, are you doing this for that and that?" So I guess that's where self-care, or I became more self-aware of what self-care was. But I think regardless of, like, the term, I was still doing it in my life. But yes, maybe later 20s, I started taking it a lot more serious when it came to, like, oh, like, my skincare routine or the way that I wanted to be presented, sort of thing, or just like for
So
mental
then I
health
guess
and stuff like that.
right. So then I guess I mean, outside of the term, right, self-care, because you brought up a really good point. I feel like social media has really put this on a pedestal and has brought so much it's defined the things that we do to make us feel good as self-care,
Mhm.
but it sounds like you were always doing it. We've all been doing it, now we just have a label for it.
Yeah, that's true. And it's funny that you say that because, like, we've tried recording this a couple of times before, and one of those recordings we had just stories of our parents. And I mentioned how my mom, she would just do, her beauty routine or whatever she was doing for herself. But I don't think she had the concept of like, oh, I'm doing this because of self care. Maybe she was just doing that because it was just like bodily maintenance, like something that she wanted to make herself feel pretty or feminine or just herself. You know what I mean?
Right. I like that. Just maintenance, right? Where before well, we'll say for women because we're women and we're talking about
Hmm.
your mother. And similar to my mom, she didn't have like a self-care routine. It was I would say self-care maintenance was like you shower every day, you wash your hair every day, and you put on fresh pajamas before you go to bed. Like
Yeah.
that
Uh huh.
was it.
Hmm.
And growing up, that's what I learned, that's what I did, and that made me feel good about myself, like, physically. I don't know if it reached my I mean, it probably did, right? Because I
Hmm.
even now, if I'm clean, I feel good.
Yeah, no, and also, like, talking on that same vein, maybe I'm veering a little bit out of it, but usually whenever you're I don't know, let's say, like, if your house is chaotic and messy and you just start picking up and organizing a bit, you're decluttering, you're fixing things, you're making it look nice, so therefore you feel good about it, so a
Right.
form of self-care.
I think cleaning up your space is definitely part of self-care. Literally anything that you do that makes you feel good is you taking care of yourself. That's literally what it is. Brings me to now think about when you were younger, were there any like habits that you had that you thought were taking care of yourself, but now you've realized it was not the case?
I'm sure there was a butt ton of, like, coping habits that I did that I thought were for the better for myself, but in the long run, they weren't, and the only one that comes to my mind right now is I thought that not crying or just being tough was like, I'm superior to you because I do this and you do that sort of thing. But now I definitely know that that was like the worst move ever. You know what I mean? I think that's sort of the one that pops out the most. What about you?
Well, before I answer, yeah, I think that's interesting. And I've known many people who don't show emotions and they think self-care, self-preservation, like I can't show emotions because this is how I maintain maybe my emotional self, right? Is that kind of how it felt like to you?
Yeah, I think it was well, honestly, I don't really know why I did that when I was a kid. I guess I mean, it probably goes a lot deeper in, but I think I don't know.
Okay, interesting. I also, like you, had some coping habits that didn't benefit me at all, but in the moment I thought they were doing what they needed to do. And, a big one for me was drinking alcohol, of course, not
Mhm.
water, and, I would overdrink, like, I would drink to the point of I am blacking out. I wasn't consciously doing that, but I
Mhm.
think on a subconscious level, I did wanna do that, and, so much time has passed from my days of doing that, that reflecting on it, for me, that was kind of an escape, and
Mhm.
it made me forget about everything, like, all my insecurities, any issues that I had, and there were, like, a lot of repressed feelings that I had that sometimes alcohol brought those out, so that's why it was, overall negative. I was sloppy,
Yeah.
messy. Oh gosh, I did not know how to take care of myself in that way back then, but, I mean, I think that was kind of one of the indicators for me that I needed to maybe look at what am I doing to really care for myself, for my for I mean, it affected me not only physically, but emotionally and mentally. Like,
Yeah.
there were times where I had bad anxiety the day after. I I don't wanna pinpoint it to that was the item that made me realize I need to take care of myself, but there did come a point where I told myself, "Okay, you need to stop over drinking
Mhm.
because it's not benefiting you. This is not self-love, this is not self-care. It's not actually fixing any of the issues that we have or the problems that we're ruminating on. It's not doing any of that." And, that's when I decided to give up alcohol. Never been an alcoholic, but I did
Mhm.
definitely abuse alcohol, and, it's been one of the best decisions that I've made,
Yeah, I like that
taking a
you
break.
shared that. Yeah, I like that you shared that. It's very truthful and real, and, I actually was present through that whole transition, so I can see firsthand the changes as well. Um, but yeah, I mean, isn't it so hard to, like, be real and talk about these coping habits that we thought were were, you know, I guess, self-care in some way, but really not? Just being
Yeah.
self-aware of, like, these things that we thought were beneficial to us were not is kind of humbling.
It is. I mean, I remember so many times when I would be, like, upset or angry, I'd be like, "I need a drink." And, like, back then, I just thought, "Okay, I'm taking care of this feeling because I'm gonna
Mhm.
drink and forget about everything."
Yeah.
drinking is like, so many people abuse drinking, and, that's, like, another conversation, and I'm not trying to, like, look down on anybody who overdrinks or anything. That's kind of like a self journey, and if it works for you, meaning it's not making you do dumb shit like it did in my past, then do you.
Exactly. You mentioned just briefly that that's the moment when you realize that this wasn't, like, helping you in your self-care or in with yourself in general. Um, do you wanna elaborate a little bit more?
Yeah, it came to a point where I thought if I continue with using this as a coping mechanism, which that was the first part, was recognizing that I was using this as a social crutch, as
Mhm,
an anxiety crutch, anger crutch, anything negative, like drinking was my crutch. Not my
mhm.
crush, but my crutch. And then I decided to go cold turkey because I wanted to be fully with myself all the time, and I felt like when I had alcohol, I was escaping myself,
Mhm.
and it was that time to get to know me, and it's been a journey, but one that I'm glad that I went on. How about for you? Like, did you have any kind of similar moments where you realized that you actually do need to be intentional about your care for yourself?
Yeah, that's a great question as well. I think overall, I've always been self-aware of, like, how I'm treating myself or what I'm doing to myself, um, physically, but mentally, I feel like I'm not as aware as I should be, and sometimes, like, when I feel like I'm on the best route doing what I can for, like, my mental health, I suddenly am not there, and that's when I realized, "Oh, I really need to get on to this self-care journey." Or I don't even wanna call it, like, self-care journey, I just, uh, wanna say, like, more of, like, intentionally working on those things.
And what was, like, one action that you took? Like, what was the smallest step that you took to take care of yourself more?
I think it was to just routinely checking in with myself. Well, I mean, I don't even know if I'm doing it right now. You know what I mean?
I think check-ins are very useful. It is a self-care habit. Like, before, it sounds like you weren't checking in with yourself.
Yeah, I think so. I think so, yeah. I think that that's something that I'm currently working on still because, I don't equate my mental health journey with self-care journey, but I guess they are the same in one.
Yeah, they're kind of intertwined. Like,
Mhm,
and to me and when we even decided to talk about this, we said, "Yes, it's gonna be fun and lighter," but with anything that we're doing here, we're finding out
it's not.
that
What the
no, it's not, and it's because it's connected to your healing journey, right? Like, when
Yeah,
you are starting to put yourself first and take care of yourself, it's gonna be tough, and it's gonna hit points where we're maybe afraid to speak about, or we
mhm,
haven't even fully processed, like, we're still figuring it out. So it's, all a learning journey.
yeah. You are in real time ruminating with us, steps that will help
Yes.
our healing journey. But yeah, I mean, it's been tough, but on the other side, to bring it back to a more lighter version of self-care, what has been something easy for you?
For me, and this might sound basic, but literally showering every day.
It's a
Everybody
great habit.
showers every day, and
Hey,
that's
not
cool.
everyone does.
Okay, yes, I guess you're right. Maybe not everybody, but for me, it's just when I shower, I literally wash the day off. I
Mhm,
feel so refreshed, and, um, I like to do it during the nighttime because then when I sleep, I just feel like a new person, and it's the best feeling ever. So I
mhm,
think that, and also since I was probably, like, 18, I've started using moisturizers on my face. I love doing that too, and hopefully it's paying off because it's payout time for
It
those
is, girl.
moisturizers. Yeah. How about you, Em?
Yeah, I think, like around the same lines as you. Anything that has to do with like physical things has always come easy to me. For example, like the shower one. But to further the shower one, I've always been good since like my early teens as well of lotioning my body after showering or like pitting it with a little bit of oil and stuff. Yeah. But yeah, I know that self care is such a broad theme to talk about. And I know we barely maybe touched the surface of what self care means to us and what it's been like in our lives. But I think we're going to start wrapping it up. I know that there's a lot more information that we're going to throw at you guys for the coming episodes.
Yeah, so thank you all for taking the time to listen. And self care is not this big, unattainable concept. It's literally whatever it is that makes you happy. Go ahead and do it and try to do it every day because it makes us feel good that you're doing it. It makes you feel good that you're doing it.
Yeah.
And the world needs a lot more happier.
Yeah. But also don't abuse whatever makes you happy because sometimes it's not the route to go to. So be a little self aware as well what you're choosing to, do for yourself. Or brings you happiness. Like, don't be a serial killer, okay? If that brings you happiness, don't do that.
Obviously, guys, we are promoting
Yeah.
goodness here.
So, yeah, that's it for this week. Hopefully, this episode finds you in a great spot. Just be happy with what you do and make sure that it's a good thing for you and for others.
Right. And don't forget, we're rooting for you. Bye.
Bye.